welcome to Any Key to Continue, our weekly VOD for the latest news and views on all kinds of gaming. This is our second episode.
Episode 2.
Yes. My name is Ben, also known as Tetron, and my co-host is Bob, also known as John Doe. Say hello, Bob.
Hey, howdy, hey. As you can tell, the video quality is a lot better than it was last time. That's because I rushed out and bought myself a new webcam, which is so much better. And
magnifique.
Exactly. So,
Yes.
and obviously noticed there's a little bit of an update to the look and feel as well. I was going for the man shed look last time, and it looked a bit naff. So we've all gone demonic this time, but there's a good reason for that. So
We needed flowers. That's what we were missing. We needed some.
do you know what? I actually did add some grass and some bits in the bottom of the last one, and it looked really good. But I thought, no, I added some bits to it.
Added some bits.
Yeah.
Always good when you add bits.
It's not that type of video cast.
Not that type. No.
It can be
Not so late.
if you want it.
Yeah, so we'll jump straight into news then.
Master, I have some news.
So for me,
What have you been up to? What's been going on?
yeah, this week is obviously been Overwatch release, proper release now. None of this beta shenanigans. So news hot for me really is the announcements that that Blizzard have come out with. Specifically, Jeb Goodman, the principal designer, he's mentioned quite a few things this week. They've mentioned that we're looking at June for the ranked play, which everybody's looking forward to.
No, I thought that was already in there.
No,
Yeah.
not yet. I suppose it's good. I'm hoping it's going to be very similar like Hearthstone, with the way that it ranks people. So that'll be
Hearthstone
good.
or Heroes of the Storm? Isn't they got the ranked league system in that, isn't there?
Yeah, there is a league
Yeah.
system, hero league in that. So that'll be interesting to see what they come up with. And how they rate that. Obviously, I prefer more of a support class in it, a support role. So yeah, it'll be good to see that. So that's one thing that they've announced. They're also looking at some rebalancing. I don't normally play him, but McCree, the 6-shooter McCree. They're looking at some say he's a little bit overpowered. You can do this sort of like throw a flash grenade at somebody, and then your right hand button key is like you unload all your 6-shooter at somebody, which is an insta kill if you hit every single one. So some are saying they're a bit powerful. They're currently watching him, and one of the other characters, Diva, one of the quite cool versions of the characters. A bit of background story on Diva. She is a like a Korean gamer, and she's a gamer turned superhero. Can you call them superheroes?
I don't know what you'd call these guys. There's a mix and match of pretty much any and every genre you could possibly think of in this game.
Yeah. Well, they're saying that she's meant to be underpowered, as in physically underpowered, but you know whether she's fulfilling a tank role. So they're monitoring her as well. So they're the two ones that have been picked up. And they're also looking at the play of the game, POTG. I call it troll of the game, because it can be like you can do these awesome plays. My common ones at the minute is a lot of objective time pushing payloads, for example, and they never get featured, even though if you're fighting against a tough onslaught, you never see that. One thing that they try to do is sort of like the awesome points in a game, where somebody manages to, I don't know, kill off 3 people, does a 360 spin and kill off another 2 people and wipes the team or whichever, but there's been some queries about that, so they're looking at trying to improve that. It's something that they've brought to the game, and trying to improve. So it'll be good to see what they're actually doing now that we're all live, and and they've got a lot. They must be getting a lot of data coming through.
Yeah, I've noticed it's kind of high up there on the old Twitch streams at the moment, and my eldest son is chomping at the bit to get it for his birthday.
Yeah.
But yeah, the community, does it seem quite settled? Obviously, I know that they're already starting to look at the, as you say, the balance issues and things like that, which is always good off the cuff. But
people don't tend to use the VoIP, which is quite interesting, really, because it is quite free to use in there for communication. When I'm playing with groups and such, we use things like Discord, you know, to keep talking within our team. But when I'm pugging solo in, there's nothing like that. But my play style very is different from solo play pugging to team play. Like in team play, I will generally favour Reinhard, which is a guy that throws up a massive shield, and if you've got good teammates that you can actually protect, that you know are really good at doing damage or certain things, healing or whichever, then you're there to stand in front of them. Being a tank has always been, you know, my preferred role in games, and to fulfill that with Reinhardt in a group is really good. But then that swaps out very quickly if I'm pugging. Sometimes I won't favour Reinhardt. I'll go into a more defensive. Maybe I'll go into Lucio for support and healing, or I like Torbjorn for his defensive turrets, whacks down turrets and hits them with the hammer. And you know, and if you could position that really well, you can help the team bottleneck the opposing team on either attack or defending, and it works out really well. So my play styles differ verily. A lot. Verily? Is that a word?
No, it's not. But carry on.
A lot from, you know, pugging and group play. So, yeah, it's good. It's nice and refreshing to see that on an FPS.
Yeah. So I was just thinking about Heroes of the Storm, and I wasn't part of the original launch of the game, the beta and that sort of thing. And as you say, with the chat function there, it was used. I don't think it was probably used as much as it was initially. I think it's going to kind of go the similar sort of lines as that game in terms of its community, because I mean, wrong, it's not as toxic as League of Legends, but it's, you know, it's there's every now and then you get them douchebags who come on and give you a thing, especially when you're a new player, and slate you straight away. But I'm kind of hoping it doesn't kind of, you know, give that.
Well, you do have the option of the text chat in excuse me, in Overwatch, as well as the VoIP. And I generally use text chat for team GGs, or, you know, GG well played, or whichever. So yeah, it will be good to see that used a little bit more. But like I said, people are favouring their own. They have done for a while. They're favouring TeamSpeak. What's the other popular one? We used to use it.
Oh, if that popular, I've forgotten it. I installed it the other day.
Ventrilo, yes. TeamSpeak, Ventrilo, and currently the big one. Well, a lot of us are using a Discord at the minute, which is a really good one, really good free one. So yeah, we'll see how that progresses, especially in ranked, where people will need to work together properly in order to get those levels. So yeah, good.
Ideal. In terms of, obviously, just thinking on from Overwatch and the tabletop stuff, there was a really interesting article over on Beast of War, which I believe came from their forum, and they were talking about, at the minute, there's not very many Blizzard tabletop centric games. Originally, before Hearthstone, we had the trading card game from Cryptozoic, Cryptozoic, and they did a miniatures game as well. But since then, there's hardly any tabletop. There's no card games. Obviously, Hearthstone's taken over that anyways in digital form. But there's no miniature type games, and I'm very surprised there isn't a Warhammer type miniatures game. But over on Beast of War, they were talking about Overwatch for the tabletop, and it was a very interesting article in terms of what models could you use from different games to kind of show the other characters and play them. So I was going through the list of them, and I think that for the offensive, so you've got Genji. There's a model from the Affinity series. We've got, you can see on the screen here, you can't bend, but like McCree. So there's characters from the Wild West Exodus you could potentially use as that kind of character model. There's Infinity heroes that can be Farah and things like that. There's quite a lot of Wild West Exodus models that kind of mimic and look very similar to the character games like Reaper.
Are these concepts then?
No. So these are actual. No, these are actual miniatures from different series of games.
Mm-hmm.
So a majority of these come from. There's the tabletop miniatures game called Infinity, which is quite futuristic skirmish type game. Everyone's got these really cool battle armor and things like that on here. And there's also Wild West Exodus, which is set in the sort of futuristic Wild West. where all the cowboys have got laser guns and like the undead run like that. So a lot of these models have been pulled from these various games to kind of represent the different characters in Overwatch.
Right.
So things like Reaper, the character from Wild West Exodus that looks similar to that. The Infinity one, Traitor, there's a character from Infinity that looks like them. I'm not sure the names of these characters. I don't play Infinity because I'm not that big a fan of the futuristic type games, more the fantasy stuff, but certainly some really, really good models that people have found that represent these other guys like Defense of Bastion, Eden, the game. There's another one here that's a robotic character that looks quite similar to them sort of things. Hanzu, again, Bushido the game. There's different Junkrat. They pretty much try and found a model similar to the different characters. A War Machine. I think the Batman miniature one's probably not as good. Widowmaker, they're saying looks like Killer Frost, but I don't think so at all. Tank, so Reinhardt, again, Relic Knights. This one here looks pretty cool. My favourite one though is the this diva that you were talking about earlier. There's a Relic Knights. I've got these kind of mechanical characters as well, and she sits on top of this basically pink turreted kind of thing, so it looks really, really good how they've kind of found these characters are very similar. Winston, AT-43 is another tabletop game, Space Apes, and again he looks just like Winston, so you could whether or not someone's out part of that forum is willing to kind of come up with the rule mechanics and create a tabletop skirmish game, or you could lift and shift the rules maybe from Infinity and then use them rules to create your own skirmish games for Overwatch. On the tabletop, which is a really, really cool idea. So I thought, I know when you're doing your Overwatch piece, I thought I'd mention that. But check it out over on beastofwar.com. I'll put a link in the show notes, and you can have a look at these in more detail and the forum in terms of these characters. Just really, really well found and sort of pieced together in terms of creating that game for those who potentially want to transfer the game over to the tabletop. So
it's quite an interesting one, really, because with Overwatch, as you know, I'm a big lore fan. I love to read all the intricacies behind people's stories, people's ideas. I love the Halo lore. I love the Warcraft lore. And reading through, they're feeding us a lot of Overwatch stuff, and it's brilliant. Some of the comics that they've done, I've only read the first one with Kree. I've seen all the cinematics. I've been reading their updates as well on their blogs, and they're putting a lot of story in the background, like the history of Overwatch.
Yeah, it's Blizzard though, and they tend to.
Yeah, certainly, and you can't fault them for it. It's brilliant. What's puzzling me though at the minute is that now this isn't a dish on the game. I blatantly love the game, and I've been playing the game, and I love the lore that they're doing, but it doesn't. For me, it's not coming across in the type of game that we're playing. We're playing Overwatch being a series of rounds doing specific things, whether you're attack, defend, payload carrying, anything like that. There is no story element behind what you're doing in game.
There's no reason for being there. Kind of just thrown into a map and then off you go.
And you're not restricted to, say, if you want to segregate the sides. I don't know if you know the lore, but Overwatch and Blackwatch.
Yes. Yeah.
There is no, even though you've got characters from both sides of things, there's no segregation. You can, you're either Overwatch or you're either Blackwatch. So there is no segregation like that. Not that I would want it, but the story doesn't feel to me as if it's flowing or in the game. I don't know whether they'll bring something in later on or anything like that, but it's just, it makes me feel like that there should be some kind of solo campaign maybe in it, so that you can participate in the story that we're being told, if that makes sense. Yeah,
and they give you a reason for being there, and kind of, at the end story. Although don't you get some of the feeling from Heroes of the Storm? I know they've kind of been sucked out from their different various universes and thrown into the mix, but there's no real sort of rhyme or reason why they're there either.
I don't think that they've built that though as like story driven. I think that is literally they have been plucked out of their world and placed in that nexus, haven't they? And that's how they're building it. But I haven't seen, correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't seen any lore driven stories for Heroes of the Storm. It's just, this is this character, this is the history it's come from, and and they're here. But we're getting that history, we're getting that lore, we're getting all the cinematics, we're getting the comics, we're getting blogs, news reports or fictitious news reports from that area, the Overwatch world. and we're just not seeing that in game. So it'll be interesting if they do more in that in the future, in the coming future. I would like to see more of the story appear in game. Not that, like I said, not that I'm unhappy with playing the game at the minute. It would just be nice to see that little added extra.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, as you know, the number of games that I play, they're pretty much heavily story driven, and that's the reason why I play them. I'm not a massive fan of these multiplayer FPS types of games. I mean, every original one, I've not played Overwatch yet, but I do like the idea behind it and the storyline and stuff. So I will eventually read them comics when I get around to it.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. Anything can be better. It's always a step up. I don't think it's that good. I don't think you'll abolish what they've already done, which would be cool. Excuse me. So the other big news, or another bit of big news at the minute, is Dynasty Warriors have announced I wouldn't say it's their first. They've released a couple in the past. Dynasty Warriors / Dynasty Warriors Blast, but they haven't actually released a mobile game that is true to the Dynasty Warriors form.
And this is what I wanted you to explain to me, because I've never heard of this. I'm very surprised you're covering mobile games, because personally I think mobile games are a gash. They are just even this type. I mean, the images I'll put up again in a minute.
Yeah.
What is Dynasty Warriors? What is the world? Is it just?
I think it's classed as the Ming Dynasty, as in the original set. Dynasty Warriors they're probably the game that put hack and slash into hack and slash.
Right.
Okay. So I think they first appeared. Was it on the Sega Saturn? Probably wrong in that, and I'm sure if anybody wants to correct me in the comments, that'll be awesome, because it'll be a good bit of gaming history knowledge. But it's literally you pick a warrior, some kind of warrior in that era. As you'll see from the screenshots, that it's all set in that era, and you literally go in and you hack and slash against hundreds and hundreds of warriors on the screen with your chosen weapon. Yes, you have some destination to go to, or you have some objective to go rescue a dynasty princess or something like that. But it is literally all about the hacking up hundreds and hundreds of soldiers on the screen. And that's what they've always been good for. If you want a good hack and slash, you play a Dynasty Warriors style game. And they've gone into different regions, so not just the sort of like the Ming Dynasty era. You also get one of my favourite animes, Gundam. They also do a Dynasty Warriors Gundam Wing.
Cool.
Or they've done multiple Gundam Wings, or Gundams, versions or variations of them. And it's literally you have your goals to do, but they're minor in comparison to the jump in and you hack and slash your way through different things with different avatars, really. And they're trying to transpose that onto the mobile world. Warrior Slash and Blast weren't up to par. This one that they're actually going with is probably more it's a flat screen fighting game, on screen slashing fighting game.
Yeah.
Probably similar to the old school Street Fighter.
Yeah, this is what it looks like. Looking at the screenshots, it looks very
head-to-head fighting side scroll.
Yeah, Street Fighter type thing.
Yeah. Which is quite surprising, really, with current tech. I know at the minute, mobile gaming is booming. Everybody games on a mobile phone. Even you game Hearthstone on a mobile phone or on the go nowadays. So everybody does a little bit of mobile gaming, and it's really good for companies to get into this. And I think Dynasty Warriors has obviously seen this, that they need to start concentrating on it. So the actual game, there's no video. Tried to get some trailers or anything like that, and there's not. It debuts on E3 this year.
When is that? That's very soon, isn't it, E3?
Yes. I don't know the exact date.
I know it's soon. I know I've seen quite a lot, because obviously I think we were saying earlier, the video news, game video news at the minute seems quite quiet. There's it's a bit of a lull at the minute, and again I think it's because all the companies are pretty much just waiting to show their big hitters at E3.
I think probably June 11th of June. That was a very American date then. So yeah, in a couple of weeks, literally.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that explains that then. Cool.
Yeah. So it'll feature loads of combos, and that's another thing that they're well known for is the combo mashups. Like you can get 99 combos, you know, in one sort of like continued motion type thing. You know, hack up, hack down, down. So I'm dancing for you. I should need some glow sticks though. Really. Yeah. So it's meant to launch with both PvE and PvP aspects, which is always good. Play your mates or play somebody in a completely different part of the world, which is, you know, something that mobile gaming is quite renowned.
Yeah. Also, there's a little bit of the opportunity to fight on horseback. Sweet.
Oh yeah. Their horseback play is awesome. Yeah, very much. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that goes and see how popular it is really. Yeah, another good mobile one. It's not whether it's new news, but it's something that I didn't know about. So I know with the mobile phone networks are trying to increase mobile coverage wherever you go nowadays. That's their massive aim, especially in the bigger mobile companies. But you're always going to get, say for example, okay, you're in hospital, that's an easy example, and you got no signal. Now, it's really frustrating when, especially in mobile phone games nowadays, you need internet connection even for the offline games, which is ridiculous. There was a Pokemon game that, you know, is just single play, the sort of like puzzle game that you play on your phone, but you need internet connection for. But what Chrome have hidden into their browsers is a little dinosaur jumping game. So if you hit that brick wall with it, you have no connection. What are you doing? You know, wait till you get connection. You can now play a little, I don't know, Flappy Bird.
Flappy Burger. This.
Yeah, Flappy Bird.
Sounds dirty.
Game. So what it looks like is, let's see if we can get this to focus. So there you are, and you have no signal, and you get hit with the there was no brand in there, hopefully. You get hit with that, we are disconnected. So what you literally do, let's see if I can actually do this live for you. You just literally tap, and it makes your little dinosaur jump, and then it starts a little game. So he's running along.
Oh, that's quite cool.
You've got to jump, jump, and you've got to keep on going and see if you can beat a high score. And it literally goes like that, and it gets faster, and it goes dark, which is really freaky, because if you're staring at that screen, I'm playing this through. Oh, there you go, and I died. If you're staring at that white screen with those black little things, your eyes get accustomed to that, and when it goes, it reverts the color, so it goes black on white. That freaks your eyes out, something chronic.
You mean white on black? Because it is black and white right now.
Yeah, white on black, yeah.
That's right.
And yeah, it's quite a fun little game. If you've got a bit of 5 minutes and you've got no signal, it's worth playing. You can easily force your phone into it by turning your phone onto airplane mode. So there's a quick tip for you. That's how I was able to do it.
No, I do. No, I agree, because I obviously know I love my Cthulhu stuff. And there's one game that I did find on the Play Store, which is, again, you can see that on there. It's the Google the Cthulhu Virtual Pet, which is absolutely fantastic because it's got a lot of mini games in there, and again, you don't have to be online to play these ones where you've got to dodge between through the holes to get up higher and higher, and it's to the point where it gets addictive that you need to sort of beat your score, and you don't have to be online for them. Again, you're right, it's one of the little things that just,
see,
if you've got 5 minutes.
Everybody
yeah, but it's in a different way. I think
How?
Because it's I have got no comeback to that.
Yeah.
It is about playing a mobile game. You're right.
And you play a game on there, don't you? You play a game within a game.
Yeah,
So is that doubly worse?
it could be. Shut up.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
So
I don't know. I just there's this whole some of the mobile games on there that they are literally just money spinning. Obviously, they're free to play, in-game purchasing, and they're just
Yeah.
wallet strippers.
Very clever for a business to have something like that. Look at
Yeah.
Candy Crush. Look how much money they made with the way that their game played, and the in-app purchases and everything like that. I think a massive company, but Activision might have-
Someone, I think it was someone
Bought-
massive bought them, didn't they?
Yeah, someone
No,
like
didn't
that. So
Blizzard buy them?
the Activision Blizzard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Duh.
so
No, I
mobile
thought
gaming.
no.
Well, Nintendo tried to get into it, didn't they? Or they've started getting into it with Mitimo. I don't know whether you've seen that before, but it's like it's. Have you ever played on a Wii?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you know your little Mii's in there.
Yep.
It's like you create a Mii on your mobile phone.
Oh yeah, yes. They've
You
gone
start
mobile. Yeah.
chatting with other people and stuff like that. So initially they had a massive boom on that, but that's sort of graded off. It was good.
They tried.
Yeah,
And
they did try.
failed.
But they've got lots of things coming out. They've got Pokemon, Pokemon Go. Another thing I'm really looking forward to is Pokemon Go. Sad, I know, for a grown man to look forward to a Pokemon game, but it's augmented.
Yes, it is, Ben.
It's augmented reality Pokemon, so you can walk around with your phone, crack your camera out, you're going like that, and you get your camera out and go, right.
I love how you're trying to cover up the your HTC logo on your phone.
Did I?
No,
that's naturally how I hold my
yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, rubbish.
So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's quite exciting, the mobile front, especially with VR, with mobile VR.
Yeah, I'm excited for. More so much the mobile immersion experiences. I think they're destined to they're the next evolution. I think especially for mobile gaming. There's only a certain amount of mobile games I will play. Obviously Hearthstone, but that's more of just cross-platform. They've transferred that across because it's such an immersive game on any form factor that you play on. So for me, I don't really class that as a mobile game. It's just been ported into the mobile universe, which is just handy.
They are, though,
Yeah,
doesn't it, really?
it does, and I wish someone would take advantage of that. I know a lot of people obviously use them for like emulators on there to play their old classic games and things like that, which is brilliant. But I've yet to find, other than Ultimate Spider-Man, the runner, because of the way the progression in that game was, it's just a runner, but it was very addictive, and all the skins you could get and the different Spider-Man costumes. They released that at a very clever time in the comic book world when the Spider-Verse was going on, so there were 100 different Spider-Men running around, and they just plugged into that, and it all just fit really, really well. So they were onto a winner there as well. Obviously, it was a lot of in-app purchasing again, but yeah, I've yet to find one that really. I want Blizzard to make a really good one, a really good Warcraft one that you could just pull out your pocket and just mow around with. Maybe even something, garrison stuff from World of Warcraft. Just be able to plug around your garrisons when you're not actually online, type thing. People have always been saying that. I just think that would be a great idea.
There's already a Warcraft skinned style game. Gameloft did one. Order in Chaos.
Yeah.
There's Order in Chaos 2 now, which so if you need a Warcraft fix on your mobile, have a look at Order in Chaos 2.
And you can skin it to Warcraft, yeah.
No, it is. It's a blatant. Gameloft has always been known as okay. Like for example,
Leech.
Speed. Yeah, Leech. Okay, that works really well. Let's put that in a game mode with our sort of like skin on it.
Yeah.
And that's what Order in Chaos. I hope I'm saying that right. Order in Chaos 2, I think the new one.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
There's a lot of them as well. They're basically pay to win. So
yeah.
I have had a go at the TCG version of them, but again, it is very heavy pay to win.
Yeah. Is there anything that popped out to you recently? News-wise?
News-wise, there was one thing I got. Yeah, of course there is. That's what we're here for. There was one thing that I got very excited about. Now, obviously, last episode I mentioned about the collectible card games and the living card games that Fantasy Flight Games currently produce, and there has been. So the ones that they're concentrating on at the moment are pretty much the Game of Thrones living card game. And we've not really seen very much else come out from them. The Call of Cthulhu card game, I think the last thing that was produced by them was probably about 3 years ago, and it goes for quite a lot of money now online if you want to buy the core box sets and things like that. But some of the core box sets can release ridiculous. I mean, I saw one for 600 the other day on Amazon, but you can't really take Amazon as it's just people being silly on there. Over £100, £200 sometimes for these core box sets of Call of Cthulhu. The expansions, yes, yeah, for proper unopened ones. But even the ones that have been opened are still fetching quite a bit of money. I mean, for instance, like I mentioned last week, I was waiting for my very big box Mansion of the Madness to turn up. Now that hasn't been produced. I don't think the second print run of this was, again, a couple of years ago, maybe just over a year, and for second hand, I managed to get that for just over 70 quid. So, I mean, I would normally pay 70 quid for a brand new game, but because it hasn't been out and there's no sign of a reprint, you know, I basically grabbed it as quick as I can. So I'm just coming. I love that universe of games. But the one thing that I did spot, I got very excited about, was they've a leaked image has been revealed for Arkham Horror card game. So basically, they've turned all the Arkham Horror universe games again, Mansion of Madness, Arkham Horror, Elder Signs, and apparently there is coming a new Arkham Horror living card game.
Is that Batman?
No, this is Cthulhu universe.
Oh,
so
right,
it's, yeah,
okay,
so it's basically
no Batman reference then?
No. This is kind of where the whole Arkham thing, the name was kind of taken from that universe in terms of the insanity and the horror.
Right,
It was
okay.
a bit of a nod to that. So, but no, this is actually set in the Cthulhu universe.
Right, okay.
Instead of being called Cthulhu, now it's the Arkham Horror. Again, this is just apparently a leaked image. I'm not too 100% whether or not it's actually out there, but you know, it's getting a lot of coverage out there on the old gaming communities and so forth. So I'm really looking forward to this, to be able to pick up a brand new game in that living card game format and kind of run with the expansions, because it always do some really good expansions for these games.
Yeah.
And the artwork on them is just absolutely brilliant. It's consistent across all of their games. It's by a similar sort of artists. It's always got the similar sort of theme, and you can just keep building and you know, you can have really long, fantastic gaming nights depending on the number of expansions you either choose to play.
So it's game night worthy then?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes. Whereas when you buy expansion, you can go from I think it's 2 to 4 players usually, but then the expansions can then expand to 6 players and beyond. The actual Arkham Horror series of games, the expansions now, where the I think the board can go well over 8 foot. It's a beast, and the amount of expansions you can add into it, and you know, it's sometimes I think it might even put risk to shame in terms of the number of hours you could play it for if you need to.
8 foot.
Yeah.
How can you get a bloody
Well,
table
so
that's 8 foot?
it's exactly, so it's the different expansions that fit together, so you can in terms of the storytelling element of that
Off
game.
the table.
Yeah, play on the floor basically.
Oh
yeah.
Through your living room or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So no, I'm really excited about that. Was what I got as soon as I saw that. I was like, oh, I've got to cover that. It's just want to keep an eye on. As soon as they've got any new official announcements, there is the gaming expo here in the UK next weekend.
Really?
Coming, and I believe the second Gen Con in the States is due soon. So maybe we'll get a proper official announcement then. But you know, it's something that's out there that they're teasing. So
perhaps next year then we might take the AKTC on the road and go gaming expo.
oh, definitely. That's exactly
If
what
you're
I'm
up
gonna
for
do.
that, that'd be cool.
I'm well up for that. Be awesome.
Yeah. We'll crack out some. You can't really say the words. Portable cameras, and you know, get some
Well,
video.
your GoPros.
I wasn't going to say GoPro or Action Cam. You can't favour any of them. And then others. But there you go.
Oh, I just thought that was their general name.
GoPro? No, it's brand.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. And we are in no way affiliated with any kind of brand. This is all off of our own back, so please do not sue us, or you can give us money.
I
if
don't
you
think
really
they give
want
a
to.
shit, to be honest with you. Not unless we get something, the email landing in
We're
inbox.
only little fish
Yeah.
into big pond.
Yeah. Big fish, little fish. Cardboard box.
Or in a cardboard box, if you prefer to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was my I know that's it was quite a small one in terms of news, but that was my biggie excitement one for the week.
Yeah.
What else have you got on your list? Was this Battlefield one? I've heard a lot about this Battlefield one.
Battlefield. So there's I can't remember if I mentioned last week, but there's been recently this whole not controversy, but Battlefield have released their next game or previewed of their next game, and then Call of Duty have done theirs. So you've always got those two types of gamers. You've got the Battlefield gamers, or you've got the COD gamers, and they facilitate different needs, requirements of FPSs. Me, for one, I'm a Battlefield player. I love my Battlefield, and a lot of my friends are main Battlefield players. I also touch in COD.
Touching COD.
That's an interesting
There's a
saying.
euphemism ever open.
Touching COD, yes. Oh, that's so bad.
Were you actually trying to think of a euphemism there?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, let's not go there.
Get touching COD out of my head, to be fair, but yeah. So their releasement. So COD's gone futuristic. and Battlefield has gone historic. So the reason why the COD has gone futuristic is because they reckon Black Ops 3, which is the current one that's out, they've had the most plays and the most purchases on Black Ops 3, and that is very futuristic based. So that's their reasoning to go into their futuristic Call of Duty. Infinity War, I think. But Battlefield have gone historic. Now, I love my historic FPSs. My favourite COD is Call of Duty World at War. That's what won me into COD. But the Battlefield stuff always, like the one-shot lock rifles and everything like that, they've always done it beautifully. So as you can imagine, everybody is really excited about Battlefield 1.
Yeah, I've got the trailer in front of me right now. It looks at the cinematic sequences look absolutely gorgeous. I kid you not, I would watch a movie like that. That's just beautiful.
Yeah. Well, Battlefield's always been a sexy game. You know, it's their trailers have always been sexy. Not that COD haven't, but they're in game. That's what they base everything off of realism. That's what Battlefield's forte is. It's like destructible buildings everywhere and big scale maps that you would sit one end and snipe somebody or try to snipe somebody miles and miles away, whereas COD has always been that arcadey style, faster paced game. But yeah, they're teasing with cavalry charges in there, with melee weapons and old school maces and all kinds of things set in World War One. So they've mentioned that they want to span that whole time frame of how weapons progressed through World War One to the end of World War One. So that'll be really cool to watch. But what they've really announced and what has got everybody excited is that they're they're gonna do a live stream of Battlefield 1 right after the press conference at E3. So it's for information. It's going to run around 2 p.m. PT, which is 10 p.m. BST, British Standard Time. So 10 p.m. on Sunday, the 12th of June. Okay, so if you want to watch that live stream, it will be on Twitch. Yes, Twitch. And we should be able to get some good screenies, some good videos of that. So quite exciting news.
It looks gorgeous. I'm quite looking forward to that one now.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not a massive fan of the FPSs, but I did play one of the Battlefields. Is it 1943? Maybe.
Oh yes.
Yes, that one. That was the first one I ever played, and I think that was just a demo, and I was hooked on that. I think at the time I couldn't afford it on my meager budget, but yeah.
Well, they released it free on the 360. I can't remember how we got it free. I can't remember if I needed to do something to get it free, but I did get it free. And I loved that game. It was probably one of the best free games that you could play on the 360. Yeah, fantastic. They do it so well, and the old school stuff is brilliant. It makes things harder, which is really good for me. I prefer to work at completing something, if that be killing somebody. That really sounds bad. Somebody.
I like to work at killing people.
Yeah.
Of course you do.
Or achieving something. The harder it is, the more achievement you get out of it.
Let's not beat about the bush. You're a psychotic killer. You just love going around ganging people. That's why we play these games.
There was an interesting study. I think it was the latter part of last year, which is all about how we're into an instant gratification society. So we look for those quick fixes, I suppose, if you want to look at it. So these quick games, these quick goals, and our society is turning into one that is no longer expecting to, say, achieve something over a longer period of time. They want to achieve that quickly and as quick as possible, and which is changing our mindsets in society and so on. It's quite an interesting read. I'll try and find the link for Bob to put it in the comments. But yeah, I'm complete opposite to that. I like working for things. I don't mind the odd quick fix, but yeah, it would be good to get some old school flintlock cavalry charges and stuff going for Battlefield. we'll see.
Yeah, as I say, it takes it away from that. As you say, Call of Duty is going the very futuristic, direction, which I know has been quite a negative response, but obviously this is catering for them.
Yeah.
That period. I think it's a good move, personally.
Yeah. At one point, they will build the most liked YouTube video, I think, within that week. That was Battlefield, and Call of Duty was the most disliked YouTube video, which is quite interesting, really. Hopefully, it won't make them cancel it. But
No, it's too much of a money maker. Even those who said that they hated it, they still will buy it.
Yeah. Probably because of the mass friends that are on it as well.
Yeah.
What else have you got to talk about?
Well, I've got a couple of Kickstarters I wanted to bring people's attention to. There was one I forgot to mention last week, which is called the Depths of Durangar. And the reason why I like this one so much is because you can play this board game in the dark.
All right. What?
Yes.
Glows in the dark?
Actually, I kid you not, you can play this dungeon crawler game, tabletop game, in the dark. The miniatures, I've got the video playing right now, have all these LEDs in the front of the bases, and they can actually, as you actually physically play it in the dark. And I believe the dungeon master who controls the game has night vision goggles to play with, so you can actually see. So literally, you have to play this game at night time, lights all off. Your the models are flashing, so as you're going through the dungeons, you can see obviously the way you're going, but it creates that immersive look and feel of actually being in the dungeon. I know it's a different type of aspect when you're playing it on tabletop, but literally you can't see anything other than what's being displayed by your lights on the actual miniature itself, and it's just a fantastic idea for a dungeon crawler game.
Put it this way, okay, so we're sat in the dark playing this, me, you, and the rest of our gaming group, right, are sat in the dark. What's stopping me from flicking you in the nose?
Nothing, if you're a complete douchebag.
And can you see me consistently flicking you in the nose?
Well, you wouldn't see it coming. I would imagine you would do, because your eyes would adjust to the light, but why would you want to do that and spoil the experience? I ain't playing games with you anymore.
But it's adding to it, isn't it? If you can... It depends what type of game is it. Are you against each other? Is it competitive?
It looks like it's cooperative. I've not read the full description,
right, okay.
But all of the miniature villains are all basically transparent plastic, and they light up inside as well. So you obviously see the monsters coming
like
towards you.
Glow
Yep. You've got these. Sort of every player has got their own dungeon master screen with a little light on it, so you can see all your controllers, your points and that, and you can see obviously your character in that certain part of the dungeon at the time. But it's just a great idea. I just think in terms of a dungeon crawler, the miniatures look pretty cool themselves, and it's a cooperative game where you've got to obviously fight against the dungeon master, who's got this night vision view, and it's all interchangeable, so you can pull out the different slots of tiles and rebuild. Either I don't know whether or not you rebuild it as you're going along to trap the characters, but obviously in that range of area that they're inside the actual game itself, that's all you can see, and so you don't know where you're going to, whether or not you're coming up against traps, other monsters, until the dungeon master switches them on and them sort of things. It's just a very, very clever game. It's currently at, I believe it's finished actually. I believe they finished. Yes. So $81,000 they got for it. Doesn't say what they were thinking, but it's been backed, and I'm not surprised. So $65,000 they wanted, and they hit $81,000. So definitely, it's one to get. I didn't back it because it's quite expensive in terms of the.
Bob backed?
No, I have to make a very conscious decision of what I am going to go for. And
we should have that feature. What Kickstarter is Bob backed?
Or you mean secretly backed and not told his wife about? Shh. Yeah, no, I don't do that. I don't do that. I do tell the missus. Yeah, but they were quite expensive, the pledge levels, for what you get, so I had to make a quick decision in terms of what it is there. But no, it's just in terms of a dungeon crawler, which there are quite a number of them coming out now. I think a majority of Kickstarters, the successful ones, is again this massive renaissance of board games coming out. So to add this twist, this different dynamic or aspect to it, is really, really good, with all the different dungeon master screens, all the monster dials, the health dials you get, and obviously your dungeon master screen's got the lights on them. and it's interchangeable, so it looks like a quick game to potentially set up and just roll with in the dark. So I was quite excited about that one, and I forgot to mention it last week. So, but check it over on Kickstarter. I believe have they got an extra pledge? No, there's no additional. Sometimes when these Kickstarters, there's a additional sort of month afterwards where you can go in and just get the core set instead of any of the stretch goals in there. But it doesn't look like they did it this time around, which is a shame. Yes.
Something I'm really excited about this week. It's not, well, I suppose it's not necessarily new news, but it's news that they're being released in the UK on Friday. And it's not video games, but it's video games related. Now, Nintendo have teamed up with Vans, right? And they're making a shoe line. I'm really excited about this.
You are getting excited over a shoe line.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, certainly. I don't have many shoes, but I do like to have a little bit of design on them. I have a cross between comfort shoes, so I'll wear boots like pretty much all the time, but I've got like custom Star Wars shoes, which I wear now and again. Vans? Yeah, Vans Off the Wall, the series were. I've also got a pair of limited edition Eco Reds, which I wear very rarely, which I'll treat you to one day, Bob.
Well, you'd give them to me. I don't want any
No,
second-hand stinky shoes.
No way, you're not getting my Eco Reds, Jesus. But yeah, Nintendo's are coming out on Friday. Now I'll give Bob a little bit of a YouTube that'll flick through.
Yeah, it's playing now. I'm not excited, dude. I can't get excited over some shoes.
I don't think in that video that is the
These look like they belong on a 12-year-old's feet, not a grown man's feet, dude. What are you doing? What are you doing to me? And
yeah,
what's
my
that?
Skype video's not frozen.
I was going to say, why have you guys? Did I just take that? I mean, they Princess Peach ones. Are they what you're going to get?
No,
they'll look beautiful
I'm
on your
going
feet.
for I don't have a pair of Van boots. They're similar to Converse, similar, not the same. But the ones that I want, I've got Mario on one foot, a big ass picture of Mario on one foot, and a big ass picture of Luigi on the other, like old school Nintendo Mario Luigi, since they're Nintendo based. And they've got a game over on the soles as well. They'll be limited edition. They'll only run them for so long, like the Star Wars sets. But yeah, they've got me really excited. They're out Friday, and my local shoe will have them. So yeah, really excited about that.
You need to get out more.
Well, I will do in my new shoes.
No, I kid you. Yeah, right. I kid you not. Wow. You're covering shoes. This is a fashion show now.
Hold on a minute. If I recall, you have printed shoes as well.
Yeah, Batman. That's a whole different caliber of shoe, dude.
Some people can say that, they're a lot younger than what you should be wearing on the shoes, on your feet even.
No, these are classy Converse Batman shoes.
Nintendo's are classy.
With a great big giant picture of Mario on them, and oh wow.
It will go with my gaming t-shirts. Look, see, this is my Nintendo cartridge either. Look, I should show you. This one is my Nintendo cartridge, and it's a cross between Red Team versus Blue, so Team Fortress, in the shape of a Nintendo cartridge. So, yeah. Getting a look up from my missus now. It's like, what you doing?
He's going, what are you doing now, you freak?
Yeah. So yeah, just in addition to that, it'll be awesome.
Yes. So one of the things I want to talk about in terms of this is what we're going to call the trading card corner. Literally, I'm going to try and cover some bits of news about new trading card stuff. One thing you did bring to my attention this week, I got very excited about, and this to me has just come out of left field purely because it's around the Fable universe. I've never played in the Fable games. I kind of wish I had now, looking at this game coming up. But I know Microsoft recently sold off a number of departments, and that one such was the team of developers who was creating the Fable Fortune set in that universe as a collectible card game, trading card game, and basically Microsoft sold off the department and but kept the actual license for Fable. So what these guys have done, they've basically set up their own studio and then have asked Microsoft if they can carry on developing this game using that IP, and Microsoft have basically said yeah, go with it. Unfortunately, these guys don't have a lot of money for the actual company itself to be able to, produce this like they would have done, because Microsoft have said, we're not going to fund this, you need to basically do it yourself. So like a lot of independent companies, what they're doing is that they're running off to Kickstarter, one of my favorites, and I'm very excited about this game, purely and simply because of the look and feel of it. It has a very Hearthstone-esque type feel to it, but it's board. The gaming board is a lot different. The artwork is absolutely gorgeous on all these games. It's got a very, very nice style to it. It's got all the different characters from that. It looks like it's got the similar sort of deck building mechanics to Hearthstone. But the board almost looks like a 3D type board in these different environments. So the character you're playing against is kind of off in the distance. It's got this nice end turn counter where it's kind of counting down, so you can actually see when your turn's going to end, instead of getting that 45 seconds into it and you think, oh, I've got to do a countdown like a Hearthstone does. I know I'm making a lot of references to Hearthstone, but it does have that. It's very
Hearthstone-esque.
It does. It does look quite polished. My only concern is, in terms of a lot of the character development and the artwork, and that apparently isn't still finished. These are just like sort of, they're going to try and make the characters a bit more 3D. The video over on Kickstarter is really good in explaining what they're trying to achieve with this. But in terms of the look and feel of it, it already looks like a polished product, and I would be happy to play it in its current form. It just looks really, really well put together, and I'm very, very excited for what they've got coming up with this. It's currently on Kickstarter now. It's got 27 days to go. They do need £250,000 to get this funded, and they're only on 28,000 at the moment. Personally, I think that's too high. I don't think they're going to get that. I don't know what obviously development costs for these type of games are. I do believe Cryptozoic, who do Hex, Shards of Fate, did theirs a number of years back, and I don't think they asked for that much in terms of development for their game. And it's very similar to Hearthstone / Magic the Gathering. So, personally, I think to reach that goal, they're going to have to do a lot of work behind it.
Yeah.
But in terms of the look and feel of it and the play style, and that just looks. I can't wait for this to be released and get running with it. Basically, it just looks gorgeous.
So I think they're British team, are they?
I believe they are. Reason being is because the Kickstarter is in UK, Great British Pound. So
yeah, and on the video itself, it's English guys.
Yeah.
I think. But yeah, Fable was always renowned for that. But I've got a feeling this is the first time I've watched the video of it, and it's very Hearthstone-esque. I wonder how far they will actually get with that without being trampled on by Blizzard to say that it is very.
No, I don't think they were. Blizzard seem to be quite happy with the healthy competition they're getting from TCGs at the moment. We've got the Elder Scroll Legends has got a similar look and feel to it. That's other than its two-lane mechanic, and we've also got Eternal coming out as well, which is again developed by the guy, one of the pro players from Magic the Gathering. Again, it's got a very, very heavy Hearthstone look and feel to it, and I just think they're leaving them alone. I think obviously if it doesn't lift and shift exactly how it looks, there's different elements added in to mix it up a little bit, I think it's fine. So I think Blizzard seem to be quite happy with the healthy competition on them.
Yeah, certainly. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah, definitely one to look out for.
Cool.
So I think we should move on to what we've been up to this week.
Where will your contraptions be leading us, young lad?
Yep, certainly. Well,
what should we start with first?
I think the thing that has been on our radar for some time now. Right. So, what we'll talk about now is we will talk about the Warcraft movie. Now, this is a bit that will have spoiler.
Yes.
Because even though we might not necessarily directly or intentionally spoil it, we cannot be held liable for mentioning things in the film that really excite us. So,
and there's a lot.
And there is a lot. From here is a spoiler warning, and Bob will put notes and however you.
I'll put an annotation in the video to so you know which bit to go on to skip to
now. Yeah, and we will have a skip to point. So at the end of this, when we finish talking about Warcraft, then you can skip to it, because in no way do we want to spoil the experience for anybody that is going to see this film, because this film is bloody amazing.
It is.
So
It's jumped to the top of the list of my favourite movies.
Yeah.
Blizzard and Universal have done us proud, and Legendary as well, have done us proud with this movie.
Yeah.
I was a little, obviously everyone thinks about the whole video game movie stuff, and you know, are they going to transfer onto the screen really well? I kid you not, from a fanboy perspective, and knowing the lore and the history of this game anyway, I think it'll work a lot better for Warcraft fans because they know the lore and history. And if you're coming as an outsider just to watch it as a movie, it's just a good film. It's just very well paced. It's well acted. It's just brilliant. But I think there might be some little elements you might find a little bit, ooh, what are they talking about? But no, I've not experienced that, so I'd be interested to see what someone who doesn't know about the Warcraft movie would interpret this like.
So we'll stop now. From here onwards will be potential spoilers, so stop listening now and skip to the next bit.
And then come back when you've watched it.
Yeah, come back. Right, we're free.
We're free. Let's do it. Right, so...
Oh, the Warcraft film. We've been waiting for ages for this film.
So long. Although I purposely stopped myself from, reading
Getting
too much, too much about it, watching too many of the trailers, and thankfully it just crept up on us. And I read Monday, which is a very unusual time for us in the UK to get movies anyway.
Well, Sunday midnight.
Yeah, exactly. And it was
before
it was well
holiday,
worth.
which is perfectly placed for us, really.
Yeah, well worth the wait.
Yeah.
So obviously, set storyline wise, orcs versus humans, and it just straight off the bat. I mean, the first sequence is just taken straight from the beginning title sequence of the actual game, where the orc and the human are circling each other. But in the background, you can see it's the path leading up to Orgrimmar, the city, and so it's just.
But that is a cutscene. That is a cutscene from one of the games.
Yeah, exactly. So they basically just lifted and shifted it, and straight away you could just tell. Right, okay, if they've done that, they've already got that bit right. It's just looking for. I mean, as you said earlier at work, we were trying to find. You got to try and find fault with the CG.
Yeah.
To try and think. I mean, as you say, just the. I'm getting.
Well, so like what I was saying, it's like the first scene, where or one of the first scenes where Durator is lying down in his tent with his missus, and she's there with her pregnant stomach out, obviously little baby Thrall, and Durator is like lying back like this, and he's little baby Thrall. He's lying back like this, and he's got his chest out. He's not wearing armor. You can see his muscular physique, and his face. And I literally found myself going.
You couldn't fault it, could you? You really couldn't fault it.
That looks the best CG. That looks like somebody has actually created it. If it's not real, and not skin, it was amazing. And that is the way you start. Blizzard have always been renowned for doing that awesome cutscenes.
Yeah, the cinematics at the beginning of the games.
Yeah, their cinematics, and I think that sort of screams their capabilities. I think of that studio to have that caliber. That it's amazing. It's tear-jerkingly amazing, I would say. I can't think of words to explain what that feeling was when you first saw it.
No, exactly. And I think in terms of, I've always very dubious about these sort of movies because it's obviously there's humans in it as well, with the Alliance, and you think to yourself, is it going to be like an 80-20 split of humans and the orcs, because the CG is quite cost heavy for the studios to produce things like that. But I kid you not, it's either 50-50 split or it's a little bit more weighted toward the orc side. They don't hide them. They're out in broad daylight. There is just nowhere for the CG guys to hide, and it just works straight off the bat. It's just absolutely good. I mean, straight away at the beginning, obviously it gives you the explanation, and it gets on with it. It's not a slow starting storyline. It just gets on with it. The orcs all congregate around the dark pool. You're introduced to Gul'dan as the bad guy straight away, who is just
Gul'dan.
Brilliant.
He is Gul'dan.
Yeah, he is. You just can't. His movement, you just can't fault the whole thing of that. And then when they come through the portal, and then you get introduced to the Alliance type side thing, and instead of the whole we've been attacked, they just get on with it. You just suddenly get these reports that the Alliance are being attacked. You see King Lane in what's the pub called? Is it Lions?
Goldshire? No.
In Goldshire, yeah, but the
I don't know. I'm not an Alliance fanboy. You're the Alliance fanboy.
I forgot the name of it. I should know this, but I forgot the name of it. For the Alliance, you filthy dirty scum. But yeah, so you see that he goes straight there and basically get these reports very quickly. They're being attacked by unknown assailants, and then they go off and investigate, and suddenly you're just thrown into this massive battle between the orcs, and they see in the trailers him lifting up the horse and throwing them, and it just gets on with it, and then you get to see the doubt in Duratan's mind very, very quickly. You're introduced to Khadgar and Medivh quite quickly, and it's very clever how they did it. I know you had some reservations on what the Kirin Tor looked like. I personally didn't think it was too bad. I think it was them, and it's even got a bit of comedy in there as well that I wasn't expecting it to sort of throw in there either.
Well, I always felt in game that the Kirin Tor were pompous asses, self-proclaimed pompous asses, and I think that the film itself, in a way, portrayed that, but they made fun of themselves by a couple of the comments that they made. If you spotted that when they were making fun of themselves, it's like, why have you been maintaining this such and such object for millennia? I don't know.
Well, I see when you said, what does that happen before? It's never happened before. No, it was just everyone was crying.
It's brilliant. But the only things that I would say about the film are the eyes of the Kirin Tor and the High Elves, not Blood Elves, as we can probably argue to the tooth and the bone. The High Elves, they're
tooth and the bone.
Eyes.
What's
tooth
that mean?
I don't know.
Tooth and nail.
Slang, maybe.
No.
Yeah. It's
argue till we're blue in the face.
Yeah.
They were Blood Elves.
They weren't. They were High Elves. That's the only failing to, and I think all the way through the film as well, they do homages to the fans. The brilliant bit that we just thought was amazing, the Murloc.
Yes, the whole cinema just cried with laughter. You go across the bridge and you get a little Murloc in the corner with his spear. He does the whole I thought my phone was going off because that's my text alert. And it was just, everyone was just like, it was brilliant.
And it
really was good.
We just saw a Murloc.
Exactly, it was so good. My other favourite bit was the very beginning, the first sequence in terms of the Alliance is you see Lothar at Ironforge and you see Magni Bronzebeard. So good.
You do like your dwarves.
Spider Dwarfs.
But the little things that they do, like, I know I'm obviously a Horde player or a Horde Origins, but obviously I've flown in as an Alliance before, and when you're flying into Stormwind on a Griffin, and you go past the little bridge that's in the middle with the statue there, and you go to the alcoves that are on the right. They've got that perfectly. The Griffin comes in through those arches and lands there. They've recreated.
Yeah, they've not gone off and I think Blizzard have done the right thing and kept creative control of it.
Yes.
And they've not let the studios bully them into going, we just need to tweak it this way for the audience.
Yes.
No, you don't. This is Stormwind. This is how it needs to look. If it doesn't, you're not making it. Basically, I get that sense from them. They were. I mean, there's a section where you see them showing the siege from the orcs and all the Division Alliance camps as you're going up the map, and I think again it just tips the hat to all the fans. You're suddenly thinking, I've been there, I've played there, I've been through Duskwood and Elwyn Forest, and just all the locations they talk about. You see it on the map that when the King's talking about it, and it's just everything you could want.
More so for Alliance at the minute, I think. Because my feeling, I've already mentioned my feeling about the film is that this casts correctly, this isn't incorrect, but this casts the orcish horde in quite a very dark light, being corrupted by
the Fel energy.
The Fel, and coming in and invading and doing what a horde does and conquer it, and it very very gives you the feeling that the Alliance, or they're not actually, I don't think they class themselves as the Alliance at that point. It's men, sort of like struggle with manpower with fighting off this horde, and that's only a very, very small section of the horde that's come through.
Yeah, it's the first wave, isn't it? And that's what the
Yeah.
film's basically about.
Yeah.
Them finding getting all the human slaves
Yeah.
to then open the rest of the portal.
Yeah.
And then there's obviously with Medivh in there as well. I mean, they've pretty much just lifted and shifted the lore and put it into the movie. I mean, obviously, sometimes they have a bit of creative license with that, but I don't think they've veered. Duncan Jones, who directed this, has done, and obviously he's a massive Warcraft fan himself. They have done us proud.
Yeah.
All the casting was spot on for all the people.
Yeah.
In terms of the storyline, it just paced very well. It's about an hour and 20 odd minutes. And then just leading towards that. But I think my only reservation about the movie, and I think this is more so for people who don't know the lore and the storyline, I think they could have explained the Fel energy a little bit better, and just give them that this is the reason, this is why they're green, because Gul'dan has corrupted them. And I think obviously they did a bit of that with Blackhand at the end, and you show that, and obviously with Thrall when he's born.
And they semi-mention it through the story, don't
yeah,
they? Like Dorotan.
Yeah, it's all about this Fel energy. So because obviously we knew what it was. There goes my alarm going off. Oh. Sorry.
And I was half expecting Azmodan to pop up somewhere to like be this, even if you just see his face or something like that.
Yeah, and I thought that's where they were going with Medivh when you see him. Spoiler alert! When you see him transform, I thought they were going down the whole Kill Jaden route. And I think yourself, no, it wasn't Kill Jaden first. It was Azmodan, but or
and he's a pretty gruesome figure, really, for a demon.
Yeah.
Azmodan.
Yeah, and obviously Medivh's costume, we were saying, it's perfect. It looks exactly as it was
beautiful.
from a game, the whole crow type costume.
Yeah.
And even the magic summoning in this movie, with how they show that. Obviously, when you play the game, you get these massive circles appearing around them on the floor. It gives you that sense of power. It actually feels like magic is a massive presence in this universe.
Yeah. And like I was saying, it's like many a film that you get when they redid D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, and all these different kinds of film that feature magic. They the feature as quite a focal point within there. They go extravagant, or they go that this is magic and this is in your face.
This is how powerful it is.
Does. Whereas the magic that is featured in there is quite a good amount of magic. Don't get me wrong, but the magic that is featured in Warcraft doesn't seem out of place.
No, it's functional.
Like you said,
they're doing it for a reason.
Yeah, certainly, and it seems part of that universe. It doesn't seem extraordinary or supernatural for that universe. It is the universe.
I don't know if you noticed on Medivh's fountain, obviously all the runes.
Yes,
all around that as well. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool. And the lead up to the very end with the fight was just even with Gul'dan's Fel magic, when he's ripping all the souls out of it, and we see the Draenei at the very beginning as well. And it's just there's and you see obviously most of the races in there as well from the very beginning of the game. So they've not gone off too far on a tangent. We've not seen any of the night elves. Any of the Worgen or goblins and gnomes, they were not in there at all, nowhere to be seen. So they're sticking quite heavily to the lore. And if it doesn't get a sequel, I'm going to be very, very disappointed.
Well, that's it. That's what I'm looking forward to, isn't it? Is that sequel? Is what we've seen is what they can do with the CGI with orcs. I'm really looking forward to the Forsaken, the awakening of the Forsaken, the Lich King. How they make the Lich King look. I know that he's already got a preset image and everything like that, but how they can enhance that through film, and then how he brings the Forsaken out and everything like that. And maybe they won't go that far in the next one. Maybe it will be like I was mentioning, because they featured very much on how the Horde are not evil, but how they're maliciously driven, perhaps. Whereas the second one, they might touch on how the Alliance becomes a lot stronger and becomes the alliance of like your gnomes and everything like that, and your dwarves probably, and your humans and your elves or your night elves. And it's the oppression of the orcs then, and then the freedom that Thrall brings, the free slave that he brings, and they create Ogrimmar and everything like that. The true Horde, where they bring in trolls and so on and so forth. So
yeah, exactly. My prediction is, like I was saying to you, my prediction is the second movie, if they do get this one, will be Warcraft 2, and potentially Reign of Chaos, half of Reign of Chaos. Yeah. As a second movie, and then the third one will be Thrones and Thrones, and then move into that, and then maybe 4, if we get the next set of movies, will be the whole world of Warcraft mythos then.
So yeah, it's really good, and it's really funny. I have guilty pleasures of game films. You know, I like the Resident Evil
Yeah.
films. I'll sit down with the missus and and watch them, and all right, they're not great, but they're easy to watch. You know, and perhaps they don't bust up as being a really good game film. Like I enjoy watching Street Fighter now and again, but that's terribly known as a bad film, game film. Sorry, and the Mortal Kombat's and so on and so forth. So you get your mediocre films that don't help.
Yeah, but they've created a bad stigma for
Yes.
video game movies.
Yeah.
So
And we can both probably honestly say that this movie is phenomenal.
yeah, it's now become my favourite movie of all time.
Yeah.
And again, obviously, I'm probably being biased because it's Warcraft, and I do love that universe and the whole lore behind it. But they haven't ruined it. They haven't changed anything. It's basically as you remember it and how it should be. So
Yeah. They've enhanced it.
yeah,
They've enhanced it.
it's just got an hour movie feel to it.
Yeah.
Instead.
Certainly. Yeah. So yeah, big feature. So shall we end the Warcraft bit there?
Yep.
Yeah, and we'll stick a pin in it. And,
Stick a pin in it.
maybe
So
come back.
welcome back to those who skipped to this point. There you go. So what's next?
What have you been up to?
So this week, I've had two things on my plate. One is learning the rules to this bad boy, because I kid you not, the rules in this game are there's a watch it played on YouTube. There's about 25 segment videos. They're in like 5 minutes each, but you know the mechanics behind this game are quite in depth. And there's quite a number of campaigns to play through, so I've been basically reading through this, learning lots of videos still, so I think next week I'm not going to pushing it back again, but I want to make sure I'm playing this properly to give it its justice. I know it's an old game now, but I'm very excited this to kind of be my first Cthulhu type moving forward. But in terms of the miniatures that are in this game, they're brilliant. They're quite I think they're 18 mil, maybe 20 something mil for the miniatures, but the monsters are quite large as well, and there are so many pieces to this. It's unbelievable, the number of cards that are in there, all the little tokens that you can get for different things, and the different turns and all the things that you've got. Your dungeon master, or the keeper who runs the game and the monsters, and then the investigators, and they've all got their own sort of rule sets each as well. So there are 2 rule books in this that you've got to kind of plough through before you can get playing. So I'm looking forward to getting a proper full game thingy to this, and I can let you know what it's like. But I'm very excited about, as you know, I like the Cthulhu games anyway. But the other thing is the Total War. So I've been I will put my hands up, and this is how bad I am at this game. Even the tutorial first campaign I managed to screw up, and you know that's pretty much impossible. I just panicked. It's a very fast move and pace game, but visually it's brilliant. All the individual animations of all the characters on this game are just absolutely top notch, and once you get used to the fact that you can, I think one of these, it's basically this game, and I know this now from experience, you just basically just need to get on with it, and just let everything roll towards you, and you can, thankfully I figured out you can go back on all the tutorial sections to find what's going on with it, and if you've never played a Total War game and you think about getting this as just a casual game, big mistake. It's a game you're going to need to probably, investigate heavily if you really want to play it and enjoy it for what it is. If you've played all the Total War stuff beforehand, it's not new ground. I believe some of the province and the campaign stuff is a little bit different in terms of your different villages that you take over in the siege from other areas, and that are a little bit different. But I've been enjoying that bit as well in terms of all the economy bits that you can do within the game. It's just very well crafted. Literally, it's not Warcraft, it's Warhammer, but the dwarfs in it are absolutely fantastic. The in-game speech as you're going along, but you can pause the game, set up where you guys want to go. You've got top plane leveling when you scroll out in terms of seeing the battlefield, and it just gives you, once you've got used to that mechanic in the game, you can start positioning your people a bit better, especially if you want to do flanking, which can be quite hard. And once your characters are in the mix and fighting with each other, again, it's a good opportunity to pause it, highlight over the area, find out where your units are, and then decide whether or not you want to start throwing your artillery in, and then your melee units and so forth. So if you enjoy this type of commander type game, command and conquer, them sort of military type games, and the whole Total War series, I think this is probably their pinnacle game. I've got very excited about this type of game. The reason I really bought it was for the King edition to get the Dwarven Horn and that. But playing the game, I've definitely found a new niche of game that I'm enjoying, and I've got some proper time to actually sit down and play it for a couple of hours and get going with the campaign and trying some of the different races. I'm looking very much forward to getting that rolling through. So yeah, that's my. I've not played it again as much as I'd like to, but from what I have played of it, I'm quite excited for it now. Again, it's just another visually good game, and it's already got a good lore backstory to it from the Warhammer universe, which used to play basically they've lifted and shifted the tabletop GURPS into a real-time battle simulator, and you just basically run with it. Don't be scared, run with it, and just get stuck in. You will learn from your mistakes, like I did.
You see, in between my Overwatch and Rust play, I haven't had the opportunity to give it time. To be fair, I'm new to it, so I know that I need to put some time in. But I haven't. I think Bank Holiday weekend has been a very, very busy family time weekend, so it's been a lot less gaming, which is never not always an issue. But I think I need to. I did plan to spend some time in it on it last night, but that didn't work out. So yeah, I'll see. It's not calling out to me. I'm having lots of fun playing Overwatch, having lots of fun playing Rust for me. But it's
again, I still don't get this Rust thing. This whole server reset, and you're working towards that all week, and then it disappears. Where's the sense of achievement in that game? I don't get it. I know we talked about it last time, but
yeah, I'm the builder of the group. I like to build cool stuff. I've got a couple of structures going now.
Yeah, but it doesn't even look that. Visually, it doesn't look that good either.
That's all right.
I'd rather build garrisons in World of Warcraft, and that's saying something.
It's better with groups. It's easy as that. It's the little clan that we've got quite a small group of people that we play with, both me and Bobby, online games, and it's nice to play something like that with them. We've got different characters in the game. These different characters, each person is a different character in themselves. We've got the loud one, we've got the conservative one, and so on and so forth. So, it's good to play with a mate. But,
oh, definitely, I wouldn't dispute that. What else have you been doing?
I've been playing. So I've discovered this Clash Royale. I know you've spotted me playing it a little bit today. It's like so.
You've got it playing on the screen here. It looks like Plants vs Zombies.
Well, you see, way back when Warcraft 3 was out, we're going back to Warcraft. It's awesome. Way back when Warcraft 3 was out, their online play, they brought in mods for like online play. What they started to do was bring in tower defenses and attack and defend tower defenses, which this is very reminiscent of that. So you have your 3 towers, which you'll probably see on a little screen, and you have a slowly increasing elixir pot, and you can summon different cards that you accrue over time, and level them up over time as well. So you can either sink money into it and pay for speed ups and stuff like that, like you generally can with a lot of mobile phone games nowadays, or you can just accrue it by winning matches and so on. And yeah, it's good fun. It's good when you got 5 minutes to have a quick fight, to send a couple of baddies out and now and again, and it fits so nicely on a mobile phone.
Yeah, no, visually it looked, when I was watching you play, it looked quite good. Yeah. As I say, it's one of them. I think this is where again the mobile games come into play quite well. They've seen it there, and that's what I think a mobile game should be. It's something you should be able to pick up, play on the bus, wherever you're traveling to. Yeah. You've got 5 minutes to kill. You're in a boring meeting. Yeah. Kidding. And just pick a game up and play. Play a quick match, and then put it down again and carry on. You don't have to immerse yourself or spend a lot of time on it. Yeah. And I think that's what they should be.
Yeah. Well, you see, my problem is I'm long-sighted, so I need glasses to see up close, or preferably on video use. So a lot of the time when I'm out and about, I've not got my glasses on, and it's sometimes difficult to concentrate for a long period of time on the phone. So a simple game like Clash Royale, where it's pictures, you don't have to heavily read anything or anything like that. It's really good for me that I can just sit there and I can just bosh. Doesn't matter whether it's the start of the day, whether I'm fresh, or it's the end of the day where my head is mashed, I can sit there and just look at the pictures and go, funny pictures, big, and just dumb it out. So yeah, it's good. It's good to find a little game like that.
Yeah, definitely.
What else you been up to?
So obviously last week I did mention there was a game that I spotted and got quite excited about, and then spotted that it'd been out for quite a while, which is this Skylanders Battlefield? No. And it's basically, but what I discovered it had actually just been released here in the UK. I think it was the 31st of May, I believe. It was quite, or the last week at some point anyway. But the reason I'm quite excited about this game is pure and simply for its TCG kind of aspect. Now, it's two types of games. I know for those who obviously it's been out for a while now. It's in the same Skylanders universe, but the difference being is you collect these cards instead, and you scan. You can either play this as basically on the tabletop as it is, and just play it as a card game, and take them around with your mates and whatnot, and obviously the kids collect them at school and whatnot and trade them. And I told you can't trade them because once you've scanned them, that's yours and that's it. It's on your account. So it's not so much. It's more of a collectible card game, which is again what's the same thing as what Skylanders are anyway. You collect all the figurines and that for your various things. But there's different campaigns you can play through. But the great thing about this one and what I got excited about it was on your mobile device you can scan it and it creates a 3D image of the actual character itself and brings it to life, and the little 3D animation. Yeah, and it's scanned. Once that card's scanned, it's your card. There's some sort of special locking mechanism in the card and on the app. So once you've scanned it, it knows it's your card, and no one else can pinch that from you and take and run with it. And you can't buy loads of sets and give all your spares to your friends and so forth. One of the great things of that is if you do have any spares, it enables you to scan that card again and level your character up.
Oh right, okay.
And not just characters you collect, it's spells and all sorts. But you can play the game on the mobile and you see the two characters basically fighting each other side by side in like a little battle arena. Right, so it's almost got that Hearthstone type feel to it.
Yeah.
Introducing
and watching the video now.
Yeah, I was just putting the video up on the feed here. So it's just the kids
overacting. Yeah.
Yes, overacting. But you can see that you scan the card and it brings it to life, and you can hold that. It's got that whole augmented reality type thing, which I'm a massive fan of. But here you go, you can see you actually fight them in game, and it's got them animations. And it gives that kind of sort of Hearthstone type battle feel to it as well. So it's got a number of different things going for it. But again, you can just pick it up as a card game and play that without anything else, instead of having to collect these figurines and so forth. So it's just a very clever game and a good one. So I've promised my little one I'll buy him a box, and then we'll have a crack at it. And we just need to get a proper device and be able to scan it, because as you keep telling me, my thingy phone's a bit naff. So, which I agree now.
We won't mention the brand.
Said name of phone.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, that's what it got me excited. It just looks a very clever, well put together, polished game in the Skylanders universe, and they always do well with these types of that whole Skylanders universe thing is just absolutely brilliant, I think. So yeah, that was my last little thing, really.
Awesome. I don't think there's anything else from me, so we'll go on to the last segment then, which is plans for next week.
Great things will be happening going forward.
So, what are your plans for next week, Bob?
I had a feeling you would ask me first, because you know that I haven't got anything, and you're just trying to think of something to come up with for this point. I think I'm definitely going to be putting a lot more time in next week for Warhammer, and get to grips with that a bit more. As I said, with again probably similar to what I said last week with the Mansions of Madness. But I am also in the midst of designing my own card game, around the Cthulhu mythos as well, because it's in the public domain in terms of the idea of the game from H.P. Lovecraft. It's a good thing. I think it's why you see a number of them on Kickstarter, and that it's a good universe kind of thing. But I've just had an absolute blast just listening to various podcasts about game design, the human mind, how people, how they enjoy playing games, that sense of achievement it creates when you're playing games, that sense of playing against other characters, learning this whole mechanic around game, not graphical game design for video games, actual physical board game design, and just having a blast coming up with different ideas and mechanics, stuff I'd like to see in games, things that work, things that don't work, and I'm looking forward to to getting something concrete made. So I'm looking at various IPs I'd love to pursue, and say the good thing would be the Cthulhu mythos first of all, and go down that route. So aside that, doing a lot of gardening. And fitting that
whilst the weather's good.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got to take the opportunity to get that done as quick as we can. So yeah. How about you?
I more Overwatch. I think I want to. They released a hero in Heroes of the Storm that I haven't tried yet, Chromie, which I'm interested to. So I want to play a bit of that. I want to get into. I do really want to get into Warhammer. So I'm going to try and put some time in for that. Eerily, get some new glasses Saturday as well, so I'm semi-excited about that because
they're excited about getting glasses. Wow.
Yeah. Mainly
You
because
rock.
I've been getting a lot of headaches recently, so hopefully that'll help combat that.
Well, I didn't even know you wore glasses up to a couple of months ago, so didn't even notice.
How long have you known me, Bob?
A number of years. A number of years.
Yeah.
And
We're in
I
double
didn't.
figures, I think.
Yeah, and I didn't realise you wore glasses.
Oh dear.
I don't pay attention to your face.
Yeah, you don't look at my face.
No, your man
What do
boobs.
you look at?
It's your man boobs.
That's a question we might not answer this episode.
I did. Look at your man boobs.
Oh, my man boobs, my
Yeah.
moobs.
Your moobs.
Okay. My moobs bring all the girls to the yard. And then we want to
Okay.
spend some more time with doing bits and bobs for AKTC as well, don't we?
Yes, so as you noticed, I've done a bit of redesign. I'm tempted. I haven't thrown this idea past you actually, Ben, but I'm thinking whether or not the end of every episode is, put something out there to the viewers. Give me an idea, give me a theme, and I'll try and create a look and feel of it. It takes quite a while time to do, but this time round was kind of the whole Warcrafty fell type magic feel to it. Last week was the garden shed, so I'm more up for ideas and changing it and give it a bit of mix, or anything you'd like to see. Obviously, any feedback you can give us. Hopefully, these improvements that you've seen this episode have been a bit better. It's kind of gelled a lot better in terms of the mechanics that have been in the system we're using. So and just a few more ideas and work on that as well. So and attempt to go and watch Warcraft again the weekend. So
oh yeah, that'll be good. I want to take the missus to go see it because I want to see what point of view is from somebody that doesn't, I suppose.
a noob.
Your missus doesn't know it really.
No.
Yeah, so it'll be good to get that opinion.
Yeah.
But shout out to Baggers as well. We got he's offering some help. One of our fans already got fans.
Yeah, we're a
First
fan.
episode.
Someone from work, but
someone
still a
from
fan.
work.
Yay!
Still a fan. Yay. Offering to help us out with a few things. So yeah, it'd be good. Watching this evolve, really. Watching a
Exactly. We will try and get this a bit short. I know it's probably again it's gone on for a bit longer, well over an hour and a half this time round. We're going to try and get it down to an hour, so there'll be some tweaks coming soon. So bear with us. Again, still finding our feet, but we'll get there. We're getting there. So where can we find you Ben?
Yeah, you can find me at Tetron, only one on Twitter. You also find me on the tubes as well, which you'll be watching me through this channel.
You just search for Tetron, and he is the only one. You will just find him everywhere.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm probably about the first 5 pages on Google, but there you go.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and you, Bob?
So you can get me over on Twitter at johndoe297. If any fans have any idea where that comes from, or what it involves, or what it's from, then kudos to you. There is a reason for that.
Yeah.
There isn't just something I've plucked out of the air. But for those who can put them in the comments and let us know what either it is or what you think it is, then
Yeah, but please leave us some comments, some feedback, like, share, and subscribe as well. That's always good, and it's good to see that people are watching as well.
Yep.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, everybody, and we'll see you again same time next week. Good night.